The other day I made a video on how not to be bad at steelpath. It was a general guide for weapons. Now I'm gonna do the same thing but for your companions. So this is the companion guide to not sucking ass at steelpath. Now it's quite simple. First I'm gonna show you robotics because this is what I mainly use, and then I'm gonna go ahead and show you a Vulpaphyla because that's also what I mainly use, and those can be traded between most companion builds. So I'll start with the Nautilus. This is what I mainly use. So you're going to want some of these mods: Contagious Bond, Manifold Bond, Momentous Bond. These ones you can buy from either Fortuna or the Sun and Deimos. They'll have all the bond mods you need. And then you get set deconstruct from missions in Fortuna, the bounties. And Fired Up you get from enemies in the void, the corrupted crewmen and drones. It's very small chance of getting them, but you can get them to drop just from normal enemies, but it's like a 2 or 3% chance. It's very, very low. It might even be lower than that if I'm remembering correctly. So you probably could just buy this one for like 10 plat. I think that's what I did if I'm being honest. But getting all these bond mods will be able to help you make a build, especially with mods like Duplex Bond, and Fired Up is needed for the damage that we'll be doing with this companion. So is Synth Deconstruct, which has enemies drop health orbs when the companion kills them. You're gonna need Assault Mode and Fired Up, Synth Deconstruct, Vacuum obviously so you can gather the loot, and Cordon is Nautilus' ability. You should be using the ability for most of your robotics, like if Shades, invisibility, you should be using that to make full use of your companion's abilities. But in this case, this build is made pretty much solely for the weapon, with Fired Up being 5% heat damage on weapon per hit, stacks up to 100%, resets after 5 seconds with no hit. And then you got Contagious Bond. When your companion kills an enemy affected with a stats effect, 50% of that stats effect spreads to other enemies within 9 meters, max 100 stacks. Now, just those two alone make this build fucking nutty when made with his Verglass. Now, if you go to his Verglass, you could be Verglass Prime or normal Verglass, it doesn't really matter. Just throw on these mods here: Malignant Force and Rim Rounds to make viral, Hellfire, and more Thermite rounds down here to make heat, and Radiated Reload just to do radiation. Now you want Prime Shred for fire rate and punch through, Split Chamber for multi-shot, and then just Serration for damage. This build alone will let you destroy enemies at level 200 with ease. You don't even have to do anything. Your companion will just do it for you. Now, if you do decide to just let your companion do it for you, that is a very, very bad move because you'll have to be standing still and you'll probably die. I don't recommend that at all. So instead, just move around and let your companion kill people around you. Honestly, you won't regret it having a companion that's super strong. Yeah, so it's pretty fucking broken. It works fantastically. Obviously, if you decide to just throw on just a shit ton of Xmas enemies, it's going to take way long to kill them. But ignoring that, this build works great with just the Verglass Prime. You can switch out Nautilus for whatever one you prefer. You could throw on Helios Prime, which is what I'm using because I want to scan shit at the moment. And just like before, throw on Assault Mode, throw on Fired Up, and throw on Contagious Bond, if at all possible, and they'll start killing things in no time. Mine doesn't have Contagious Bond because I'm broke and I want a Duplex Bond instead. But that's pretty much just robotic builds. Now, robotics, just like with your beast builds, the bond mods, you always have to read these because these are always gonna be like the center point of your builds when it comes to your companions, especially mods like Tenacious Bond here. So headshot kills reduce companion recovery timer by 3 seconds, which is fantastic. We always want less recovery time for our companions. If the companion's critical chance is over 50%, then you gain 1.2 times final critical damage multiplier. That part is even better. So to find out the critical chance, all you have to do is go with Verglass or whatever the weapon is. 14%, it's not high. In other words, Tenacious Bond is not proccing. So that is a worthless mod to keep on. I don't know why I have it on. Oh, right, the timer. Well, but you get mods like Reinforced Bond. If the companion exceeds 1200 max shields or overshields, then your fire is increased by 60%. Reloading restores 150%, 150 overshields to your companion. Now, this one increases your fire rate, and it will obviously help out your companion survivability a lot. So this one is obviously also a very good mod. It's mods like these that are just amazing that you'd want to keep on. Now, let's switch over to the Vulpaphyla. This is also my second main. Now, when it comes to a Vulpaphyla, it's quite simple. What you want to throw on are the viral quills it has, which will prime the enemies around you with viral. So this means you don't have to have viral on your weapon at all. And then Parents of De-Evolution, this just makes it immortal, essentially devolves into its larval state when downed and attacks enemies with quills, dealing 60 viral damage each hit. Now, this is obviously fucking fantastic. It makes it immortal and it still procs enemies. This is why the Vulpaphyla is one of the most used companions in the game. I don't know if you've noticed, but in every match I've played, it seems that there's a Vulpaphyla fucking everywhere. Now, once again, you can get on Tenacious Bond on this one, and this time it actually works. He has 50% critical chance. If you go to the Panzer Claws, just throw on Hunter Synergy, and his critical chance will be 66%. If you take off Hunter Synergy, as you can see, it goes straight down to 25%. So just throw on Hunter Synergy. I do not have a lot of beast mods, unfortunately. So this is the best I can do for his damage. It's decent, it's not the best, but basically it's just the procer. Proc him with every fucking thing imaginable, and everything will soon stick. And when it comes to just his mod itself, you could throw on Martyr Symbiosis, which drains and stores 20 health from corpses within 25 meters up to 40% of your health. If your health falls below 10%, Companion downs itself to heal you. That is fantastic. So this will just keep you alive. Parents of De-Evolution is just its immortality. You throw on Calculated Redirection, so Reinforced Bond will work, and that will give you fire rate, and boom, that gives you critical damage multiplier. Fetch, so it starts collecting shit. Duplex Bond, Companion will clone itself. Each time you expend 100 energy up to 3 clones. Clones live 30 seconds and cannot use abilities. Their kills have 50% chance of dropping energy orbs. Now, this one is fantastic because should it need to, and so it'd just be proccing more enemies. This is never a bad mod to put on. Momentous Bond, killing Xmas enemies grants 120% bonus of a random element damage to your companion for 30 seconds. Now, that's good, but my companion doesn't really do a lot of damage because my mods are kind of shit. So the main point of this is actually the companion recovery timer. This one is fantastic because we always want this companion to be out all the time to be proccing enemies. And then Prime Pack Leader, heal your companion with melee hits, excess healing grants Overguard. Obviously, that's fantastic. We'd want our companion to be up and about as much as possible to be proccing enemies. Now, that is really just about it. This would work with just about anything. Those mods are all you really need to put on, and just think of its survivability and what you gain from your companion. That is the only reason you have a companion in the first place, what you stand to gain. If you think about only your companion and not yourself while building your companion, you're gonna have just a build that doesn't really work together. So you want it to be built around your Warframe or your weapon, whatever you're really building your frame about. If you're building a weapon only build where you're just doing mass amounts of fucking damage with the Torrid, for example, then you got to think about that as you're building both your companion and your Warframe. If you're doing it around your Warframe where you're just spamming year 4 and then year 1, then you also have to think about that when you're building your companion. So with that being said, that is just about it. I hope you found this helpful. Until next time.